Rainbow Road is without a doubt the most famous track to come out of Mario Kart and arguably every racing game ever to exist. Over the last 28 years, there have been many variants of this infamous track, and today I'm going to choose the best 10. This list is based off how fun the tracks are, how memorable they are, and what gimmicks I have. Please note that remakes will be included in this list. I'm Tom from Nintendo Extremists, and today we're going to be looking at the top 10 Rainbow Road tracks. Coming in at number 10 is the third installment of Rainbow Road, which is on Mario Kart Super Circuit. Like I mentioned in the past, this game is probably the most forgotten about in the series, and the same goes for Rainbow Road. Despite having the game for a few months now, I only recently just played the track, and let me tell you, it's hard. Well, it's hard if you're new to the game, like I am, but so is any Rainbow Road, right? The first impression that you get is that it looks very similar to Super Mario Kart version, with how flat it is, but that's honestly not the case. There are some instant sharp turns which you can skip by jumping off the ramps on the edge of the track. At first you think that there's some sort of railings, but no, they can be your worst nightmare. If you even think about touching them, you go flying off the track. And with Super Circuit's very loose controls, it's very likely that will happen the first few times you play it. However, for the more experienced gamers, you can use the ramps to cut off some turns in the stage and pull off some cool shortcuts. There's even a slim path that's covered in boost panels which you can take, but again, if you're not experienced, you'll go flying off the track. Aside from those features, it's a pretty short track, and like I said, probably the most forgettable. The longest track in Mario Kart history. Nintendo must have gotten a few complaints about SNES's Rainbow Road being too short, so they were like, fine, you can have a longer track. Well, saying it's a longer track is an understatement. On the fastest CC, it takes 6 minutes to complete. 6 minutes! I'm pretty sure that if the track had more going for it, the 6 minutes would fly by, but unfortunately, it's a very boring track. The only stage hazards are the chain charms that seem to be stuck in the road because we can only see half of them. The charms are very easy to avoid after a while, and soon the only issue is that you'll have is with the rubber banding CPUs. One of the reasons why I don't like the earlier Mario Kart titles is because CPUs are overpowered in my opinion, and it seems like whenever I get a power up, they instantly catch up. I'm like, why? Why is that a thing? Speaking of overpowered, if you get hit by anything on this track, for example a tromp, or red shell, or even a blue shell, good luck trying to catch up, because it's near enough impossible to bag a win unless you have some insane luck of items. One of the coolest features in this track is the star outlines of the racers in the sky. I remember always looking out for every racer when I used to watch people play this when I was a kid. The track may be memorable to some, but it's honestly one of the most boring I've ever played. The first Rainbow Road remake on this list. Mario Kart 7 officially started the trend of recreating Rainbow Roads for retro tracks, with Mario Kart 8 following suit. Despite keeping the format the same as the original, the track does look different. For starters, the road itself is a lot bigger, so that it can fit 8 3D models. There are some added ramps where you can perform tricks, but I'd recommend avoiding them as they'll just waste time. The forms are now rainbow colours, and when they hit the road, it will shake, giving you another opportunity to sneak in the trick. Remember the split path at the end? Well, now there's a ramp where you can try and clear the gap, but use a mushroom, okay? It's a very basic track, and that honestly isn't loads to say, but Nintendo have definitely tried to recreate such an icon in the Mario Kart series. There isn't a lot that can be said about this track that I haven't already mentioned, but the Mario Kart 8 remake of SNES Rainbow Road is a tad bit better than the 7 version. For starters, it's in HD, so what's not to love? Secondly, the music kicks butt. Thirdly, the track is even wider so it can fit 12 players. Fourth, the forms don't look as stupid as what they do in Mario Kart 7. And lastly, the track is a blast to play, and I usually pick it online if it's available. This may come as a shock to some, but the new Rainbow Road isn't anywhere near the top. Compared to the versions on Mario Kart Wii and 7, this one is a little underwhelming, as definitely a track that I've grown to like. I appreciate that Nintendo tried to do something new with this track, whilst implementing some features from previous ones. Just like in Mario Kart 7, the entire track is not rainbow. You're on a space station, with conveyor belts that lead onto split paths, like in Mario Kart Wii. If you're lucky, or you know what you're doing, you can alternate between the paths using a mushroom or a star. You're also in anti-gravity the entire time, which makes sense because you are in space, but even so that's really cool. And at the finish line, astronaut tours will be cheering you on, which are really funny and cool. This track is okay, but there are tracks that are so much better. Into the top 5, I have Rainbow Road for Mario Kart DS. This was the first Rainbow Road I ever played, and it definitely left a mark. I remember playing the track and thinking it was so cool. Don't get me wrong, I struggled a lot on this track at first, due to the lack of rails, but it didn't take me long to master it. You start the track similarly to Double Dash, where you go up a long spiral before taking a loop-de-loop. Mario Kart DS's Rimmer Road is the only track in the collection that have a feature like this, and it's honestly mind-blowing. You then take a pretty simple route before entering a freaking corkscrew. Nintendo, why haven't you brought this back into any of the newer tracks? It's such an amazing feature. However, make sure that you don't get hit by anything whilst on the loop or corkscrew, as you'll fall off into oblivion. Well, at least I think it's oblivion. I can't really see what's at the bottom of this track. It's definitely one of the shorter Rimmer Roads, but still a very good track. Again, if you didn't grow up in the early 2000s, this is a pretty forgotten about track. Mario Kart Double Dash's Rimmer Road was the first good one in the series, and is a huge upgrade compared to the earlier ones. You start by driving down the track with some steep turns. If you have a massive drifting in this game, you're basically getting taught to learn, as you'll fall off if you try to turn regularly. Next, you'll go up a spiral like a Mario Kart DS, but this one is a lot longer and can be a task to complete. You need to nail most of the speed boost, or you'll be bumped off by one of the heavyweights. Ironically, I wouldn't recommend drifting here, because you'll go out too wide and fall off the track and probably land in Mushroom City. By the way, Mushroom City is just below if you didn't already know, but most of you probably already knew this, so this is just pointless. You'll then go on a spiral bit of road where, if you're lucky, you'll pick up a star that has fallen on the track from the sky. After completing another sharp turn, you'll be blasted into the air by a cannon. You'll finish off the track by driving down yet another spiral. The track is really significant in Mario Kart series, and started to turn off some excellent Rimmer Roads. Some of you will probably be shocked to see this track be so high on the list, but I have a soft spot for it. Mario Kart 8's retro tracks are phenomenal, and this one is at the top of the pile for me. They didn't change a great deal from the original, but still managed to make it spectacular. Remember that long drop at the start of the track? Well, now you can boost down it and then glide into the air. You will quickly realise that the track isn't entirely covered by railing anymore, only very few areas. The change jumps are now balls that bounce around the track, and in my opinion, are tougher to avoid than the originals. Just like the forms on Sten's Rimmer Road, it causes the track to shake, meaning that you can do a quick trick. There's a train that follows you around and throws coins out onto the track. How neat is that? Also, the track isn't long. It's probably like a third of the original time, which is ironic considering that this remake is probably one of the shortest tracks in Mario Kart 8, and the original is probably the longest one in the entire series. This track truly replicates the final track as you glide to the finish. Unless you get hit by a shell, then it isn't so special. So, don't get hit. Mario Kart Wii must be feeling so unlucky to finish as number 2 on 2 of my list now, but the number 1 pick is just too good to be dethroned. Arguably, the most iconic track in the series, Mario Kart Wii's Rimmer Road is a track that you'll look at and think, yes. Just yes. If you were ever to show anyone what Rimmer Road looks like, you're going to show the Mario Kart Wii's version. It has everything: half pipes, wavy roads, gigantic holes that you can have to drive around, a weird cannon of some sort, split paths, you name it. The music is so memorable too. I always have nostalgia listening to it, making me glad that I grew up with one of the best games of all time. It's definitely on the longer side, by the time of flyby, because you also have the blast on this track. Could you even call this a track? This is an experience that will leave a good taste in your mouth for ages. For the first time in the series, the entire track isn't a rainbow. I mean, yeah, the start and end of it is, but we'll ignore that for now. You're on an adventure when racing on this track. You glide onto Saturn's rings and drive around the planet. That is way beyond awesome. After a few turns on a wavy road, you land on the moon, with twin jump balls rolling around having a good time. And there's no gravity. You are jumping up and down the entire time, making it feel like you're actually on the moon. And when the final lap section hits, the music, oh my god, is awesome. Let's hear that for a second. Without a doubt, the best final lap music I've ever heard. It makes you have an adrenaline rush as you boost through another cannon and glide your way past meteors. This is by far the best Rimmer Road track that Nintendo have created, and you haven't lived until you've played it. And there you have it. Do you agree with my choices? What would you have done differently with this list? Leave a comment down below with your thoughts and opinions. If you enjoyed, leave a like. If you are new, feel free to subscribe so you never miss any future content. Also, turn on notifications so I get notified the second we upload the video. I've been Tom from Nintendo Extremists, and I'll catch you next time.